Hello and welcome to another video from Midas Touch Toys, Games and Collectibles. And today, we're looking at something that's very old and quite rare these days. We are looking at the 1970 release by the Daily Express from their Rupert the Bear series of annuals. And so in this particular one we're looking at today is from 1970. And it was released in late 69 for the upcoming 1970 year. And it was all based on the comic strip that appeared in the Daily Express newspaper, which then went on to be a puppet television series. Okay, but this is the book in front of us, and it says Rupert at the top, and it's got a Daily Express annual, and there's an image of Rupert and Badger Bill climbing up the snowy mountain, and Porky Pig there as well. And let's turn the book over, and there's the other half of the image, so you can see that there's lots of Rupert's other friends and characters and animals at the top of the hill, where the top of the mountain where all the snow is, and there's even a snowman up there. So that is the front and back cover. Actually, let's open it up and let's see the picture in all. There we go. So that's the whole picture. So it runs from front to back. There we are. Okay, quick look at the spline. There is some damage to the spline on this one. It's lost a bit of its paper covering at the end here, and there's a little bit of wear at the bottom on this one. But otherwise, it's not too bad really for something that is 54 years old. Okay, let's open it up and have a look inside. Okay, so I have opened the book up, and this is inside the front cover, and it is another image of the meadow where Rupert and his friends roam. Next page says this book belongs to, and that's all blank, hasn't been filled in. And you've got the contents show the rugged heights of great adventure, Rupert and the Outlaws, how to make Rupert's lightship, Rupert and the Blunderbuss, how to make Rupert's mystery bird, Rupert and the paper fall, and Rupert and the sky boat. Okay, and it says Rupert, a Daily Express publication. You can just see that on the corner there. It says Beaver Book Newspapers Limited 1970, printed in Great Britain. And you see it's 7 and 6 old money, or 37.5 new money on the bottom corner of the right hand page, and the price hasn't been clipped off. Okay, so we come on to the first story, which is Rupert and the Outlaws. Now, this was a combination of a text story and a comic strip stories. So you can see you've got the artwork images, and there's the talking is at the bottom, but then you've got the story in text form at the very bottom. So it says Rupert and the Outlaws. Rupert's dog, although only half grown, is a fine tracker, and Rupert is very glad to have his chum's pet with him when he loses his way and falls into the hands of fierce people who suspect him of being their enemies. Okay, so there we go. So these were all original stories that were wrote, I believe, for the annuals. I don't think they appeared in the newspaper. I'm pretty certain these were all original stories. And there you can see great artwork images, and the full text story is at the bottom. This is still Rupert and the Outlaws. It's quite an in-depth story. It goes on for quite a while. There's a lot of images, a lot of text involved on it. Really good artwork, actually, for a book that's so old. Very long story by the looks of this. And there's all, obviously, other little headings there. So Rupert becomes a member. Rupert would rather leave. Rupert dresses up once more. Rupert must go in secret. And this is all still Rupert and the Outlaw. Rupert breaks into a run. Rupert lends his costume. And that's the end of the story there. And then we come on to Rupert's paper lightship. Is an easy model to make, and it shows you how to make it with paper. And it tells you how to make it at the bottom there. So, and it's a step-by-step guide of how you take a a sheet of paper to make the boat. Or light ship, whatever you like to call it. Yeah, the light ship. So there we are. That's the final stage, number 29. And then we're on to another story, which is called Rupert and the Blunderbuss. And again, it is same format, where you've got the cartoon images, the hand-drawn images. Very, very good. I must say, these images are fantastic. And you've got the story at the bottom. So you follow the story along and then read the text at the top, so you know what's going on. Okay, I'd imagine it's quite a long story if it's anything like the other one. And each of the pages has a different, although it's still the same story, it's got a different heading. So Rupert glimpses the chase, Rupert misses the creature, Rupert begins to sway again, Rupert makes Tiger Lily laugh, Rupert explains all he knows, Rupert enjoys the tricks, Rupert thinks of a name, Rupert renews his search, Rupert's pal tumbles over, Rupert reaches a farm gate, Rupert gives Gaffer his hat, Rupert tries soothing words, Rupert meets Podgy Pig, Rupert astounds the others, Rupert slips past unseen, Rupert dashes into the garden, Rupert climbs a ladder, Rupert is only just in time. I'll say the artwork is incredible on these images. I think it's just fantastic. Rupert marvels at the magic, Rupert scampers off home, and that brings us to the end. And then we got start with a square to make Rupert's mystery bird. Someone's actually coloured these pictures in. I don't quite understand why, but there we are. But it still gives you the step-by-step guide on how to make Rupert's bird with paper. So all the origami that you like is all shown there in the step-by-step guide, and it tells you how to do it at the bottom. And then we've gone to another story, which is Rupert and the Paper Fall. And you've got Santa Claus sorting office there. Why is Rupert the only one of Nerwood's little people to receive a present on Christmas morning? There is a surprising reason behind the mystery, and by a turn of events, Rupert and Edward bring happiness to their chums. Okay, so Rupert collects the lists. Rupert startles a tiny man. Rupert wants to know more. Rupert rescues a model. Rupert answers some questions. Rupert shows his present. Rupert's pals are downcast. Rupert returns to the lake. Rupert shouts with Edward. Rupert angers the jester. Rupert obeys an order. Rupert remembers the clerk. Rupert sorts out the gifts. Rupert leaves with a sledge. Rupert fears they are lost. Rupert turns the other way. Rupert unloads the parcels. Rupert releases Algie Pug. Rupert drives his toy car. And that's the end of the story. And then we'll go on to another story, which is Rupert and the Sky Boat. It says Rupert and little friend Margaret are chosen as the first to try out the clever man's amazing inventions. They take a trip in the Sky Boat without realising what is ahead of them, and that the work of a lifetime is in danger of vanishing into thin air. So Rupert goes to ask Rastus. Rupert is left wondering. Rupert has his first glimpse. Rupert unfastens the hook. Rupert wanders in a fog. Rupert sees a strange place. Rupert and Margaret are shut in. Rupert follows the owner. Rupert watches the machines. Rupert's chum becomes tearful. Rupert waits to be told. Rupert loses the light metal. Rupert stands below the craft. Rupert tests the invention. Rupert flies in a circle. Rupert finds he is drifting. Rupert steers to the village. Rupert lands on a hillside. Rupert stops high in a tree. Rupert's chum calls him back. Rupert stares in amazement. Rupert runs to meet the man. Rupert is whisked upwards. Rupert hears a sad story. Rupert raises fresh hopes. Rupert looks at Nutwood. Rupert passes the factory. Rupert has so much news. And then follow Rupert every morning in the Daily Express, it says. And brings us to the end of the book. And there's another scene from Nutwood Village. There's a little bit of drawing and crayon there again. So that is the Rupert Bear Annual 1970. So how well did these books do? Well, you've got to remember, in 1970, Rupert come out of nowhere. It was a Daily Express comic strip that was appeared in the comics. That appeared in the newspaper. And all of a sudden, it became huge. It then boosted books and annuals, of course, as you can see here. And then, of course, its own television series. And also the song, Rupert the Bear, which went to #1. So there we are. So Rupert was a huge thing in the 1970s. Also in the 60s, actually, but 70s, I think he was much more popular. That's when the TV show was produced, and the rest is history, really. He's still very popular now. So yeah, the annuals were very popular. Incidentally, these annuals I think they started in the 50s, so they ran for quite a long time. But the popularity, I think, was at its peak in the 70s. So anyway, annuals were a staple diet for practically everybody back in the 50s, 60s, 70s and 80s, come to that, because we had no way of watching our television programs if we didn't see them on the TV. Rupert the Bear, for example, I don't think it wasn't, the TV series wasn't actually out in 70, but the comic strip was being printed every day in the Daily Express. So you would get, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 little comic strips, which you would have them read, and then you have to wait for the next one, and the next one. I mean, I can remember when we was kids, we used to get them, cut them out, and then put them into a scrapbook so we could have the whole story. But that was what we did back in the day, because there was no way of any other way of seeing the whole thing together. So that's what we did. We were very easily pleased back in those days. And like I say, there was no way to watch this program. I don't think the TV program had actually come out at 1970 anyway. I think it came out a little bit later than that. But even so, it was the way that we were back in the 1970s. So these annuals were released towards the end of the year for the Christmas rush, of course. And every child will wake up in the Christmas morning and there'd be at least one annual in their Christmas stocking, all depending on what TV series they were into. For me, I used to get loads of annuals because I was into pretty much everything, but there we are, it's another story. So yes, they've done very well. They were mass produced and they've done very well. Nowadays, they're not as easy to find as they used to be. They do still appear on the platforms, don't get me wrong. These were so mass produced, so they were pretty much everywhere, and most of them have survived the test of time, and so they do come up from time to time on the platforms. A lot of people try and sell them in bulk, so they have a whole selection that tries to get sold on platforms, but that's available for you. Just be a bit careful with the condition. I always say this, because some person viewing an item could say it's in very good condition. In someone else's opinion, it could only be in acceptable condition. So just be very, very vigilant if you're buying on the platforms, and have a good look at the images so you can see exactly what you're getting. Or alternatively, you can come to us at Midas Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles, where we have this annual available on our website, which you can get to quite simply by clicking the link below. It'll take you straight to the website where you'll be able to find this and many other Rupert the Bear annuals, and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody, and I am absolutely positive that this is something you're not going to want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new products which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there's something in particular you are looking for, something old that you've never been able to find, something quirky that you might want to buy for a friend, or maybe just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories. Well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know, the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this annual with me. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again next time.